So you're looking to streamline your business so that you can get a little bit more breathing room in all the work that you're doing. And both automation and delegation are incredible ways to do that. But which one do you start with first, and which one makes the most sense for you and your business goals right now? That's what we're going over in today's video. Hey everybody, my name is Elizabeth and I support overwhelmed entrepreneurs be able to run a business without it running them and to manage and scale a business operation with ease. In today's video, we're going to be going over 3 questions to answer to determine whether you should automate or delegate first in your online small business. Let's do this. All right, so real quick, let's break down the difference between automation and delegation. Automation is the streamlining of tasks with technology with minimal input from the person. So think very little to no manual effort required. This is fantastic for repetitive tasks that need to be done routinely regardless of time, but don't necessarily need to be done by a human being in order to get completed. So think an email sent out to an email list. If you have a list of 6,000 people, you are not individually sending out that email to each email address. You would use an email service provider like MailChimp or MailerLite and have that automated. A fancier version of automation could also be when you interact with a chatbot on a website. So you can get basic customer service questions answered, navigated to the correct information, leave a message so that you can talk to an actual human being later down the track. On the other hand, delegation is transferring responsibility of tasks or certain aspects of tasks to another person, thereby taking it off your plate completely. This is great for tasks that need that human touch to get completed and are high priority. It's just you don't have the time to get it done. A great example is me delegating to my husband to clean up after our cat when I've had a full day of client calls. Business examples, though, would be when you have your content repurposed to other platforms by a virtual assistant or delegating tasks to an accountant come tax time. Both, like I said earlier, are great for getting tasks off your plate that are time and energy intensive, are outside of your zone of joy or genius, and just simply are outside of that capacity that you have to work. But the question still remains, which one do you start with? Which one makes the most sense for you and your business right now? Let's get into those 3 questions. Question number 1, does it require a person to complete it? I know it's pretty straightforward given what we just talked about, but we're starting with the simplest question. So many tasks, especially when you are a team of 1, is just going to be on your plate because there's been no other person to be able to give it to. It's on you. But that doesn't mean every task needs to be completed by a person to get done. Like you could be sending out manual invoices to each of your clients, but that's something that can be automated as soon as they decide to sign on with you through a powerful workflow. So when you look at all the work that's currently on your plate, ask yourself, does the majority of it absolutely need a human to complete it? Or has it just been on your plate and you've been doing it because you've had no other options up until this point? Question 2, is this something that needs to be done the exact same way repeatedly? So no matter the unpredictability of business, there's always going to be those tasks that always need to get done on the regular. I'm talking about, it does not matter if you're sick, it does not matter if you're on vacation, it does not matter if you're getting married or it's 2 a.m. in your time zone. When these tasks get triggered, they need to get done. And they aren't necessarily hard, they're just arduous because it does not matter how many times you have done these tasks, it always takes the same exact amount of time to complete them because it's just the same information, the same stuff that you have to do over and over and over again. So an example of this could be when you are onboarding a new client. You have to write the onboarding email, you have to send them the onboarding packet with all the information, you have to send them the links that they can get access to them, you have to get the information from them so that you can start working on your service so that they can get the results that they're looking for. You have to send them the scheduler so that they can do their first coaching call with you. All things that need to get done, and they need to get done the exact same way because it's your process. It just takes a lot of time. So when you look at your processes on your plate that you're currently working, which one of them are like that? Which one of them need to be done on a routine basis the exact same way, no matter what is going on? And finally, question 3, would you consider this task simple? And just so we're all on the same page, when I say simple, I mean it takes very little problem solving to figure out or little energy to complete. So let's say that you're handling 2 different tasks in your business. Task A is scheduling your first call with a new client, and task B is writing a new content piece. With task A, you can have a very concrete process that takes very little energy or decision making to complete. With task B though, you're gonna want a little bit more time or energy, even if you have a process for it, to be able to make sure that you have that content piece done correctly. So for task B, we wouldn't consider that simple. You or somebody else would have to manage that to complete that. While task A would be considered simple, and you really don't need another person to be overseeing that in order to get it done. Now, if you answered yes to question 1 and no to questions 2 and 3, then delegation is the way to go. Keep in mind, there still may be some aspects of these tasks and processes that can be automated, but ultimately, you're gonna need another human being to be able to manage and complete it. Your best bet is to start documenting these processes and the way that you do them, so that when you go to outsource, you can make sure that you're getting similar results as if you were doing the task yourself, even though you're not. Now, if you said yes to questions 2 and 3, then we have got room to automate. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is start writing out the steps to complete that task or that process. Think of it like you're writing a recipe. That way you can easily automate without complicating things. Now, if you made it to this part of the video and you're like, I didn't even know that I could streamline tasks like that, I don't even know where to begin with that, totally been there. It can be really overwhelming to know where to use these types of supports when you're currently neck deep in client and admin work and can't even fathom how you can do business differently, especially when it comes to automating and delegating. That's why I created the Pimp My Systems Audit Guidebook, which is a completely free workbook where we cover how to identify gaps in your business that are currently stretching you thin, where to prioritize your time, and where to streamline so you can create a killer experience that your clients will love, but doesn't require you to work in your business 24/7 to achieve it. I'll link it up here and down in the description below so that you can download it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below what your scores were. Are you going to be automating first or delegating first? Or doing a little bit of both, because that can happen too. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.